Hello everyone, it's Ro here. Today I'm gonna be styling the Kingdom of the Wicked characters. I was actually hoping to post this video before the third book came out, but that didn't happen. So I'm gonna be working with the information of the first two books, and maybe I can do a part 2 with some updates when I am done with the third book. And listen, one of the reasons this video actually took so long to do was because finding clothes and stuff that is like interesting and cool for guys is actually kind of difficult, and I had to style 7 of them. 7 guys. Well, actually 6 of them, because Sloth is not in this video. I think I lost a piece of my soul, of my sanity. It was kind of a lot. So I hope you guys enjoy it, because I think I died a little bit making this video, so make sure to give it a like. I'm gonna try to do this as short as possible, but I do have a lot of characters to tackle, so with all that said, we're gonna start with Greed. He's described as having bronze skin, dark auburn hair, and Emilia says that all the copper shades make him look like a coin. We meet him at the gambling den, so in that situation, I think he would be wearing clothes that are more suitable for the human world. But for this video, I'm gonna be dressing all of them as if they were in hell, because I think it's, more fun like that, since we're dealing with everything that is paranormal and magic, and I think, we have to take advantage of those things. With that description in mind, I picked this jacket that has a reflective or like crystal material, and I think it's originally silver, but thanks to the light and the shadows, we end up getting these tones of bronze and like more gold metallic colors. For the characters, I decided to go for like one color in particular. Each one of them seems to have a house color, and I chose this beige and soft gold colors for his clothes because if we think about him as a coin, like imagine the amount of times you're passing a coin around. So bronze tends to fade with time, but honestly, I just like these colors. Then we have this suit with different colored gemstones on it, and it reminds me of money, that suits him very well. Sadly, I don't have that much stuff for Greed, but this is like the general idea of how I think he would look like. Next up is Pride, and he appears briefly. I have very little information about him, so I based his clothes on his name, and Emilia says that he carries an aura of confidence and pride, obviously. When I was thinking about his style, I went for more simple pieces, stuff that was more neat and put together, because I don't think he would show himself so much through his clothes like some of the other characters do. He already thinks highly of himself, so I don't think he needs to do that. For his main color or his house color, I decided to go with a deep blue, because I think it gives that rich and extravagant feel. Now, I do have to say that in The Feast of the Wolf, he's described to be wearing a white suit, but I just don't think that fits him and his personality. White seems to be too angelic for him, and so it's gonna have to be blue. I already decided that it's gonna be blue. And I chose the long jackets because it elongates the body, makes you look taller, but also he seems to be a little bit of a drama queen, so I like to think of him like walking on the hallways and just having like the jacket kind of flow behind him. I think that really fits his character, so that's just a little detail that I wanted to add. We have this open blazer, no shirt combo that you'll actually see for a lot of the other characters, because I think this is an outfit that all of the princes would wear at least once, mainly because they don't seem to be worried with like showing too much skin. In this case, I really like the jewelry that goes across the blazer. I think it adds a little something without it being too much. And even though his style is more simple, I didn't want it to make it like too boring or too organized, so I added a bit of sparkle, a bit of glitter. I added the shirt because the shimmer is subtle, and I really like the placement of it. It sort of feels like an armor. Am I reaching too much? Same thing with this suit. In this case, it's not too shiny. I feel like the sparkles or shimmer of this suit would show up a little bit more with like the light, so it works pretty well for his closet. Now for gluttony. I hate that name, by the way. He seems to be like the exaggerated version of his brothers. Like, his name says that. Everything is excess to him. In the second book, when he throws the party, the sins that he displays the most are lust and greed. So the style might overlap with both of these characters, particularly greed, but it is said that he has a lot of those traits too, so I don't think it should matter too much. Okay, Kingdom of the Wicked Wiki says that when we see him in Kingdom of the Wicked, he wears a bronze crown with gemstones and a blackberry color suit. You would think that I read this book like 10 years ago because I actually don't remember anything of it. I read it last month. I think Kingdom of the Wicked Wiki is wrong because he shows up the first time on the second book. I'm almost sure of that. But anyways, the first suit is the blackberry color suit. This would be his house color, like the main color. And this shade in particular was actually very difficult to find. So you're gonna have to imagine it for the other outfits. Now, as you can see, we have the blazer shirtless pants combo, but I would also dress him with pieces that have like a lot of jewels, or in this case it has pearls with velvet fabric on it. I want a lot of textures, I want patterns. This suit in particular kind of mixes all of those aspects. We have the color plus the details and this like linear design that make the pattern. Then we have this pair of pants and this jacket over here. The pants look like are more printed onto the fabric, and the jacket looks like it has this more crystal material, but they're kind of similar. On the other hand, these pants are more on the simple side, but they have that metallic color to them. I think it would make a very interesting contrast with some of the other pieces that we have on his closet. And last but not least, a fur jacket. Think of this suit underneath, but like in the blueberry color, okay? Plus the fur jacket. Now, in general, I think these outfits are still pretty like tame for him, so I would actually mix a lot of these pieces together. For example, the shimmery blazer over here with a fur coat on top, and also, I don't know, some of these pants over here. I want his style to be super over the top, super intense, like just a lot in general. I still want him to look good though, so it would have to be like very well thought of. Sadly, I couldn't find pictures that show the exact outfit that I wanted, but again, this is like a general visual of how he would look like. Next one is Lust, and this one was interesting because most of the princes are described as good looking, sexy, and whatever, all of that. That plus the fact that the demons are not really scared of showing skin made me realize that I needed to find clothes for Lust that could represent his sin in a different way, and not with just an unbuttoned shirt or like the shirtless combo, which we also have in here in red. This is one of the most like simple pieces that I think he would wear, but in the books he's actually wearing a silver suit with pants that hang low on his hips. That's how it's described. So I found this suit, which I think it's perfect. It has some golden tones. It's not entirely silver, but I like it because it makes it so it doesn't look so plain. I think the silver alone might look a little bit boring. And that shirt that's like tied up on the front, I love that detail. Plus the jewelry, perfect. Another example, and it's a bit of a variation of the one that I just showed, but this is like a, what is that called? Like a romper? We have a romper moment. It's in a cream color and it's very fitted to his body, plus the V or triangle cut shape is like subtle, but it just works. I don't know how to explain it. It's cute. I put it in there. Okay. Then we have this suit in a cream color, and I chose two colors because when you think of Lust, you usually think of red, right? That's kind of like the obvious answer. But because of his description and the fact that red can be a very intense color, I thought it would be better to like have a combination of both for him. And I don't know, I think these colors work very well together. They create a very good contrast. This pair of pants, like, it's a very good example of how I visualize that mix. But when it comes to just using a monochromatic suit or clothing, in this case, the red really works because it's like a silk fabric. The lighting helps create a little bit more like shadows to it, and it's not so flat, it's not so plain. And red silk just fits very well with his skin. But if I were to have like an entire mood board just with red suits, I think that would be too much, and I wouldn't like it. But going back to what I said about finding pieces that could show his skin in a different way, I found this jacket. I don't really know what it is because it's not really covering that much, so I don't think it would work as a jacket. But that's okay because that is exactly what I was looking for. It's kind of red, but it's also kind of pink. Think about it in a red color. And I wanted something similar, so I found this other jacket slash top, but this is what I had in mind first. That triangle shape that goes downwards plus the details that go on the neck, I think they're very pretty. And I like this jacket better because it cuts on like the torso. I still really like this outfit in general, especially because we have all of that jewelry. And I think that's very nice as well. But this is definitely longer and I would like the cut of the jacket to be a little bit higher. The main reason why I didn't want to add this picture is because it's black and it has gold and it reminds me of Wrath. But I like the jacket, so I had to show it to you guys. Next one is Envy, and the main color for him is green. And there's that scene where Emilia goes to the palace. Is it a palace? The castle? Whatever, his house. And in one of the rooms of Envy's place, she describes the floor to have a checker design. So I wanted to add that onto his outfits. And I found this suit, which combines both of those characteristics. You might not see it so clearly in here, but that's definitely a checker design. I do want him to have a range of green colors, so I went for this outfit as well. I love the shade. I couldn't find more stuff that was that color in particular. And I also have this suit, which is actually more of a jade blue, but I thought it was very pretty and it leans towards like a colder tone. So it doesn't really stand out from the like general view of his closet. So next to Wrath, Envy is one of the princes that shows up the most. So I wanted to have a big contrast between both of them in terms of clothing. And in this case, it was relatively easy because black and green are very like different colors, especially because these are very bright and intense shades. And this outfit, for example, the suit is black, but that green on the fur jacket makes it stand out so much more. And it's not just like a contrast between the colors on themselves, but also the fabrics, like the velvet shirt plus the leather and also like the shimmery jacket. But listen, I don't want him to look like the Grinch. That's not the idea. So there's definitely suits with some more laid back colors. This outfit, for example, not only has a very cool pattern, but the greens are more muted. And for the last outfit, the blazer is a more mint green, and with the white and cream shirt and pants helps to balance things out a little bit so it's not so repetitive. I think Envy is one of the characters that I was able to make the most unique. He's the only one that doesn't overlap too much with his brothers. His closet is actually like one of my favorites, so yeah. Next up is Wrath. He was probably the easiest to style. And I don't say that in like a bad way. It's because he's probably the only one who has a very defined style. So all of those details and aspects makes it way much more easier for me to build up, you know, a mood board of his clothes. First things first, like the shirtless combo. In this case, I found this black cape. Tell me this is not like one of the coolest things you've ever seen. And like that neck detail, no. Like, I really like it. We have a variation of the shirtless blazer combo. In this case, it has a mesh shirt. I was not too sure about this outfit, but I decided to add it anyways because I still think it's cool, but I'm still like on the fence if it like fits the entire vibe. But in general, I think he's wearing stuff that is more formal and put together. I did add things with shimmer and sparkles, but it's very subtle. And for these outfits, I wouldn't add the golden snakes, because I don't think he would be wearing the snakes all the time. I'm gonna explain why in a sec. Here's a blazer with shimmer, again very subtle. I wanted Pride's outfit to be on the same level as Wrath, and this is due to plot reasons. If you read the books, you know, but I'm not gonna spoil it. So I have the long jacket. Wrath is also a bit of a drama queen, so yeah. And I really like the idea of him wearing like silk fabrics or velvet fabrics. And since he's the prince of war and strategy, I like the whole combat boot, dark vibe. I think it fits him very well. But this shoes, like they're too modern, so it would have to be something similar, but not so whatever runaway this was in. Now, for the golden snakes. This is one of the main characteristics of his clothes. I think he's wearing this like 99.9% of the time. But in my head, I was thinking, if I was watching like the adaptation of these books, of Kingdom of the Wicked, and I see him show up with the same pattern of snakes, like in here or in here, like all the time, I'm gonna get bored of it very quickly. So I came up with different ways that the snakes can be on his clothes. Let's start with the obvious one, which would be having the snake in the front. And for that, I found this jacket with the snake. It looks like it's on top of it. It's not like a print or an embroidery, but I would take away the little silver stones that it has and keep only the gold snake. Now, I have these 3 outfits over here, which are going to be the foundation. This is the other way that I would add the snakes on the sleeve on a smaller scale. Have this sleeve in mind, and I need you to look at this suit. See how the pins are going from like the sleeve up and from the leg upward. That is how I would place the snakes with this pattern. In this case, I wouldn't put that many, like they're just going like on top of one another. I would put single ones, but it would be on the same position of this suit over here and on that belt. That belt looks cool. For example, look at the detail on the shoulder of the jacket and imagine it having a snake going on right in there. I think that would look like very pretty. And I really like this gold color. I think it's because of the lighting of the picture, but I'm usually more fond of softer gold. I don't like when it's very yellowish because it can be very like off-putting. This is perfect. And it's not so, probably not something that you would notice right away unless they would do like a zoom on it. While I think the like snake on the front is very iconic and it's something that it definitely should be on his clothes, it shouldn't be like an always thing. It should be like a once in a while thing. And all the other snakes are just more chill. And maybe instead of like having the printed snake, we could have some very cool cufflinks. Like maybe just one snake cufflink. That would be so cool, honestly. And these pants, for example, instead of that line over there, a thin snake. And that goes through just one of the legs and it curls towards the end. I could make it work. I'm telling you, I could. Last but not least, Emilia. I'm going to do this one a bit more quick because this video is already long, but also because the dresses already show exactly how I think she would be dressed. Like, these are very self-explanatory. In terms of color, she doesn't always use black. Like, it's not the same as Wrath. We have other shades going on, like burgundy, this dark purple, some deeper reds, wine colors. There's a little bit of glitter. I think in this case, like, it's needed. It's required. Now, Emilia is usually wearing flowers on her hair. Not like in a flower crown, just flowers. And I wanted to have that, but on her dresses. So you can see that I added a lot of lace because lace usually plays with the floral patterns. In this case in particular, it has a print of flowers. But also I found this thing. Like, how cute is that? For her to be like wearing like a snake matching Wrath. That's so cute. I love it. But yeah, in the books she says that most of her gowns are very fitted to her body and are quite revealing in a way. So I wanted her dress to have like an open back but like cover in the front. But some of her dresses are definitely gonna have that triangle shape V cut. This would be a more exaggerated example, which might seem like a lot, but because the sleeves are longer, I think it's well balanced and I think it works in this case. This one is one of my favorites because you have the floral pattern covering her chest. Like, it's showing a lot of skin, but it kind of does the same thing as the other dress and where the sleeves are like very long. I think she could just like straight up slap people with those things. And I think that's very cool. I think she would like that. And then we have like two more chill and not so revealing like gowns. And I think this one in particular matches very well with Wrath's suits and style. I did want to say that when she's wearing flowers in her hair, I wouldn't dress her on the floral and lacy gowns, because otherwise it's gonna look overwhelming and it's just not needed. It feels a little bit redundant. So I think she would be wearing like fabrics that are a little bit more solid. I'm not sure how to explain it, but like in here, there's no patterns, there are no like intense designs. Yes, it is a little bit see-through, but it's just like a simple fabric. That's all of them. I have a similar video in where I style the Cruel Prince characters, so make sure to check that one out. And if you're still here, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!